everybody, it's Casey Williams. So this week I'm talking to my good friend, and as usual he goes, "Hey Casey, what are you driving this week?" And I said, "I'm driving the brand new Mercedes Benz EV." And he looks at me and says, "What, does it have a lot of space inside?" I said, "Oh yeah, lots of space. It's like a bus inside." I don't think this is quite what he had in mind. It's a 2024 Mercedes eSprinter. Let's go look at it. I think given the eSprinter's purpose of, carrying construction equipment, carrying all kinds of cargo wherever you want to take it, I think it's a pretty handsome looking van. And there's just a tinge of that Mercedes class and flair. It's a working man's vehicle, but it does still have some class to it. Stars in the grille, your big gleaming headlamps, 16-inch alloy wheels. Can you imagine those are 16-inch or this great big thing? The vehicle, obviously, it is a big barn of a, of a car, right? It's not meant to be pretty, it's meant to do work. But big sliding doors, easy to get in and out of them, glide easy. And I think, you're not going to miss it when you see the parking lot. I took it to the grocery store the other day and came out. It was no problem finding it. But I think you'll see in a few minutes, it's actually not that hard to drive. It looks pretty big, it's pretty overwhelming. It's actually a pretty easy vehicle to move around town. From the outside, about the only thing that would clue you in that the eSprinter is different than gas-powered sprinters, great big barns of a van you see contractors driving over town, is one little thing. Here, behind the star, where there would normally be pretty much nothing, is a plug. Pull that open, click it, goes right in. Easy as that. So plug it in, DC fast charger. You can get from 10 to 80% in 42 minutes, which isn't bad for a big van like this. If you're plugging in at home, or if you're plugging in at the shop with a 240-volt charger, you're looking at more like 12 and a half hours. So if you run a business thinking about, you plug in at night, everybody goes home, vehicle's fully recharged in the morning. So your next question is going to be, well, my team is out driving all day long, they're out visiting homes, they're out doing work. What's the range of this? So there's two different versions. The smaller battery pack's about 160-mile range. They claim the bigger battery pack's more like 250-mile range. This one, I believe, has the bigger battery pack. And right now, if I go look at the gauges, it says about 230 miles max. I've got it fully charged. But more realistic, and what I've actually been seeing, is more like 160 miles. So there's a bit of a discrepancy between absolute perfect, soft shoeing the vehicle and driving it very easy, and then driving it, as you probably would. But 160 miles, staying in town all day, is still pretty good. My daughter and I have been having a lot of fun this week. I was taking her to a dentist appointment the other night, and I said, "You're really going to like the vehicle." I said, "It's a great big Mercedes," and she's thinking about sitting in the back of an S-Class, playing with the screens, infotainment, massage seats. She came out and she just started laughing. But it's been a really good vehicle for us. We've been doing just picking up some orders, bringing stuff home, using it as a van. But if you had a business, you'd be taking this very seriously. I mean, this giant box fits in, no problem. Got some tires in here. You can see that too. But the nice thing that Mercedes does with the Sprinter is it's pretty much all set up to outfit it. If you want to put shelves in here, it's set up for that. If you want to put racks in here, there's places to connect them. Tying things down, you've got hooks in the floor. You got other places to tie the racks in. So pretty much whatever you want to do to outfit this vehicle, it's a complete empty canvas. And as you can see, the big doors in the back open wide. You could pretty much load pallets straight into it from a forklift. Side door, you got a sliding door that opens up wide. You can get it optionally powered if you want that too. So there's a lot of space back here. And being a Mercedes, it does not feel cheap back here. Everything feels nice. And even the panels, nice material. The floor, it feels like something that could be in your shop. And I think it's just really impressive. So, again, we're driving the van around. And I asked my daughter, I said, "Do you mind if I stop by the liquor store?" And she said, "Yeah, you want a pallet of bourbon?" I said, "Sure, why don't we go to the grocery store too?" And she said, "You know what?" She said, "I was thinking about a pallet of Cheerios." So, it's kind of a joke. But if you're using this vehicle for business every single day, I think you're going to find a lot of functionality and pretty much more space you can imagine. 488 cubic feet of space back here. So anything you want to load, you can get it in here. I have to say, if I was going to drive this vehicle every single day of my working life, I think I'd be pretty content in it. Again, you got to climb up in here. It's a tall vehicle. But once you get in here, A, you can see out really well. And B, it feels more like a Mercedes A-Class than it does a cargo van. It starts with the seats. These are heated seats in the front, heated leather-wrapped steering wheel. This whole display feels like it could have come out of an A-Class or a C-Class. You got the flat screen, you got Apple CarPlay connected. This has their MBUX infotainment systems. You got voice commands, you got navigation, all of that. So very easy to do your job. The sound system actually isn't bad. My daughter, again, we're driving around listening to it. I've driven some really nice cars that don't sound as good as the sound system in here. So again, I'm at climate control. So again, this is not an S-Class, but you can sense that Mercedes actually did this. You start tapping around, there's a lot of hard plastic, but again, it's a cargo van. You got rubber mats, but those mats, the carpeted mats, also very nice. Feel like they should be in a Mercedes. Seat material feels like it should be a Mercedes. You got extendable lower cushions, so you can get comfortable in it. Nice, big, easy to use gauges. All the safety gear you'd want. It's got automatic emergency braking, blind spot warning, rear crosspath detection, all that to keep you safe. So one of the other features that I really like in this van too, again, it's a cargo van. So you got the wall behind the cabin to keep you safe, to keep stuff from sliding up here and hurting you. But it's insulated. And when you're on the road, it's actually pretty quiet inside here. You don't hear a bunch of hollow rumbling like you would in a van. It sounds very nice. And you got the digital mirror. So you can't see through the back wall. It used to be a problem in the past where you kind of had to really rely on your side mirrors, and you still do. But you have a digital mirror with a camera in the back, so you can see out the back. And when I put this in reverse, I've got the camera system in the back too to help me back this. So a lot of cameras, and I think the thing that's surprising is it's pretty easy to maneuver. You get in here, you don't feel overwhelmed by it, and it's a very comfortable place to be. I mean, clearly this is no S-Class, nor should it ever be, nor should you expect it to be. But what I have found is it's pretty easy to drive. I've not felt overwhelmed. I thought I got this great big giant van. I'm not going to drive in traffic. I'm not going to try to park it. And that's not been the case at all. First of all, you got lots of glass. You can see out of it really, really well. You have great big mirrors, the bevel mirrors down below. So people get in your blind spot, you're going to be able to see them do that too. And you're sitting in the nose of the vehicle. So you're way up here, you can see out and easy to drive and easy to judge where you are in the vehicle. But what I really like about this is it's electric. You got 295 pound-feet of torque, plenty of power to move this out. Has over 2,600 pounds of payload capacity in the back, and you've got plenty of powertrain to move that. And I just keep thinking to myself when I drive it, first of all, it's smooth, it's relatively quiet for what it is, it's easy to maneuver. I just keep thinking how nice it would be to have this waiting for me, plugged in at the office, plugged in at work. All I gotta do is just click it, put the plug back on the wall, and go do my work. Come home, I don't have to find a gas station, I don't have to worry about what I do with it next. Pull it back in this parking spot, pull it back in the garage, in the barn, plug the thing in, and go home. So it's just a lot of convenience to it. But also, you're gonna be driving these every single day in traffic and trying to get into tight garages and tight driveways and back in all the time. And the vehicle really has been pretty easy and pretty enjoyable to do that with.